In a tranquil corner of the forest, far from the noise of the world, there stood a small, humble cabin. Its wooden walls, weathered by time, blended into the landscape, almost as if the earth itself had gently embraced it. The tall pines that surrounded it stood like timeless guardians, their branches swaying lazily in the breeze, casting shifting shadows across the ground. The scent of pine resin and earth filled the air, grounding everything in a quiet, timeless peace. Here, in this serene solitude, lived a woman named Melanie. She had come to this cabin years ago, seeking a life of simplicity and stillness. She found solace in the quiet rhythms of nature, and every morning the sound of birdsong and the rustle of leaves filled her heart with contentment. Each evening she would sit on the porch, wrapped in a hand-woven blanket, watching the sun set behind the hills. The sky would slowly change from soft gold to deep violet, and the forest would fall into its evening slumber. One evening, as dusk began to settle over the land, Melanie decided to take a walk through the forest before the night fully embraced the sky. The air was cool, and the ground beneath her feet was soft with the fall of pine needles. As she walked, she listened to the sounds of the woods, the occasional call of an owl, the rustle of a deer moving quietly through the underbrush, the far-off trickle of a stream winding its way through the valley. The forest felt alive with its own rhythm, a rhythm that had always been there, long before she arrived. The path was familiar to Melanie, winding its way up a gentle hill and through a grove of birch trees. The white trunks of the birches stood like silent sentinels in the fading light, their leaves shimmering silver in the moonlight. The moon was rising, casting a soft, ethereal glow across the landscape. Melanie paused for a moment at the crest of the hill, looking out over the valley below, bathed in the quiet, cool light of the moon. She closed her eyes and breathed deeply, the air rich with the scent of moss and earth. There was something comforting about the stillness, something that made her feel connected to everything around her, the trees, the stars, the very ground beneath her feet. In this moment, she was not just a part of the forest, she was the forest. After a while, she made her way back to the cabin, the moon now fully risen and the stars beginning to shine brightly above. The soft crunch of pine needles underfoot was the only sound that accompanied her, a gentle reminder of the peacefulness of the world she had chosen. She entered the cabin and stoked the fire in the small stove, the crackling of the flames filling the space with warmth. There was something deeply soothing about the rhythm of tending the fire, adding a log here, stoking the embers there, and Melanie found herself smiling as the room grew warmer. As the fire crackled softly, she set about making herself a cup of chamomile tea. The calming scent of the flowers filled the air, and she took the time to enjoy the simplicity of the task. The warmth of the cup in her hands felt grounding, and she allowed herself to savour the moment. There was no rush, no hurry. Outside the world was quiet, but in here she could feel the gentle hum of the cabin, the wood settling, the flames dancing, the air moving slowly around her. With her tea in hand, she settled into her favourite chair by the fire. The flickering light of the flames cast soft shadows on the walls, and Melanie closed her eyes for a moment, letting the stillness of the night wrap around her like a blanket. Her mind, which had once been full of worries and distractions, now felt clear and calm. The peace of the forest had seeped into her bones, grounding her, reminding her that sometimes the greatest joy could be found in simply being, in being present, in being still. When she finished her tea, Melanie stood and gently blew out the candle by her chair, the room now bathed only in the soft glow of the fire. She moved to the small bed in the corner of the room, its sheets cool and inviting. The bed was simple, but to Melanie it was a sanctuary. She slid beneath the covers, the soft rustle of the blankets, a soothing sound, and as she lay there, she let her thoughts drift like the leaves outside, carried on the gentle night breeze. The wind whispered through the trees, a quiet lullaby that seemed to beckon her into sleep. Outside, the stars blinked softly in the vast, endless sky, while the forest continued its slow, eternal dance. Melanie closed her eyes, her body sinking into the comfort of the bed, and allowed the stillness of the night to wash over her. She felt safe, she felt at peace, and in that moment everything was exactly as it should be. And so, in the quiet cabin in the woods, Melanie slept deeply, her dreams as peaceful as the forest surrounding her. The world outside carried on, but for now it could wait. The forest held her, the night cradled her, and all was well.